and welcome to the Ellen Made Book Club and this update video. I have some channel updates that I want to talk to you about, and then also a couple of reading updates. First of all, I just want to say thank you to everyone who has subscribed to the channel. I'm not the best at celebrating milestones and achievements and things or anything at all. I'm working on that, but I do appreciate very much that you have stopped by and chosen to stick around. And yeah, a couple of weeks ago we hit 1,000 subscribers on the channel, so I think that's worth celebrating. I have a hard time taking credit for any of that because I feel like that's you, you choosing to subscribe to the channel and hang out. And yeah, I'm very grateful for that. And it just makes me very happy. Having this channel and making videos and chatting to you in the comments and everything just brings me a lot of joy, and it's a very fun distraction and way to spend my time through life's ups and downs. I just want to say thank you for being here, and I appreciate you a lot. We did have a little celebration. My boyfriend had set up a little surprise for me. I came into the kitchen to pieces of cake, and there were candles and little fireworks. Tina Turner singing "You're Simply the Best." It was just really sweet, and I appreciated that a lot. And yeah, that also made me very happy. Another thing that makes me very happy is the Diversity Book Bingo that I've been hosting this year. It's a challenge that I created for myself as a way to help me diversify my reading. And I decided to share it because I figured maybe other people also want to have that. And people have joined in and taken part in this challenge, and are reading things and filling out their bingo boards, and yeah, that makes me really happy. Not only because people are using something that I created, which is always a good feeling, but also because people are reading more diversely and talking about those books in their own channels, online or in life or whatever, and just those books being read and talked about. It just makes me feel very good to be part of something that creates good, So yeah, that brings me a lot of joy as well. I still have 3 books left to read for the 2025 Diversity Book Bingo, and I have books picked out for that with a couple of different options. I made a video about the books that I have left to read for different challenges, so I will leave a link to that if you want to check that out. If you have participated in the bingo, I would love to hear how it's going for you. You can share in the comments, but I would also really appreciate some feedback from you if you have any. I've made 2 different surveys that you can fill out. They're both anonymous, and all of the questions are voluntary, so if you feel like you want to skip questions, you can. But it's just 2 Google forms. One of them is the feedback form, which is about the bingo itself and the prompts, and you can mark down which ones you liked and want to keep for next year, and which ones you want to get rid of, and which ones you don't mind either way, and then a couple of other questions just about the bingo itself. And then there is the reader report, which is more focused on your experience as a reader, just because I'm curious and because it helps me get an understanding of what the challenge has been like for you in different ways, and if you found any good books through it, and which prompt combinations maybe were specifically difficult to find books for, and just things like that, so that I can maybe make recommendations videos based off of that, or it's just I don't know what you have experienced throughout the year, so I'm just very curious to find out. Both of those will be linked in the description of this video as well, so if you would like to answer some questions for me, I would really appreciate that. And thank you to everyone who has done that already. There's been some interesting responses, and thank you so much for doing that. Because I am also working on the Diversity Book Bingo for next year, for 2026, and just having people's feedback on, which prompts were fun or not, is very helpful. And it also just, helps me get a sense of ways to improve the challenge. One thing I've done already is create a Discord server for the Diversity Book Bingo, so you're very welcome to join that. I mainly set it up to for next year's challenge, but there are still a few weeks left on this year's challenge, so if you just feel like you need some company and someone to cheer you on, that's a great place to be. There are different channels in there where you can recommend books or ask for recommendations or just hang out and have a chat with other people who are also trying to diversify their reading. There are a few people there already, and so yeah, you're very welcome to join, and the link to that will be in the description as well. Other than that, the challenge for next year will be similar in a lot of ways, like the general setup and the continents are the same and things like that, but I will be changing some prompts and maybe some other things. We'll see. I'm still working on that. So if you have any prompts left to fulfill and you're looking for suggestions for books that would fit those, you can let us know in the comments of this video and let us know what prompts you need to fulfill and sort of what genres you like to read or other preferences that you have in books, so that you can get recommendations that suit your reading tastes. You can also join the Discord server and ask people on there. And then there's also a storygraph challenge with lots of books for all of the different prompts and the continents and all of that. I think there's 1,300 books saved on there. So that's also a great place to look and see if you can find some inspiration or, hopefully find some books that you're interested to read. Moving on to some reading updates. My reading in November has been pretty slow. Just, my general mood or life things, or nothing major has happened or anything. I've just taken it a bit easy. So I haven't read a lot of books, and I don't think I'm gonna make a dedicated November wrap-up video. I just posted my October reading wrap-up, and so I'm giving myself some room to just do what I feel like. So this video is going to be a little bit of a mini wrap-up, I guess. First of all, I've read We Love You, Bunny by Mona Awad, which is the prequel to Bunny by the same author. I've done a dedicated video about this book, which is a review and react kind of video where I reviewed this book, and I also checked out some other booktubers and saw what they had to say about this book, which was a lot of fun because everyone had sort of similar experiences but in a lot of different ways. So it was really interesting to hear what people liked or disliked about this book. There were things that I really liked about this book, and then there were things that I didn't enjoy as much, but overall I'm glad I read it, and yeah, it was an interesting time. I will say that if you loved Bunny and you loved the mystery of it and the not knowing how things happened or why, or you want to keep a sense of mystery around Bunny, don't read this book. If you're looking for answers about how everything started and what everyone's perspective and motivations and things were, then this book has a lot of those answers for you. So that's all I will say about this book in this video. But yeah, if you have read this book and you want to discuss it more, check out the dedicated video that I did. I also read The Serviceberry by Robin Wall Kimmerer, who is the author of Braiding Sweetgrass, which was one of the books that I had originally planned to read this year, but it just felt a little bit daunting and intimidating, so I decided to pick out this slim little thing instead, which is a new release. It came out this year, and it says the Serviceberry, abundance and reciprocity in the natural world, and just I think based off of that or what I had read, I thought it would be more about animals and plants and how they do different services for each other in nature. And there is that, but in a more general sense. It's not sort of the main focus of the book. It's more about how we can apply that kind of philosophy way of servicing each other in our economy or society, as humans, trusting that what I share and what I give will sort of come back to me, and just sort of have gratitude for the things that Earth provides for us, and treating that with a bit more respect and gratitude. So it's looking at different ways of how we are doing that already, little free libraries are an example in this book of how people can share things and then someone else picks something up and then maybe they put something back and then that goes to another person or back to me or whatever. It's just a way of sharing what we have and then everyone wins instead of like one person just grabbing everything for themselves and then other people are left without. It's very short and it's very easy to read for, you know, what the topic is. It's hopeful and positive and uplifting and yeah, just a good message. So definitely one that I would recommend. And then I'm currently reading, like, why are you so tall? I'm currently reading Uncharmed by Lucy Wood, which is another book in the same universe as Rewitched, which came out last year. And this is the new release that came out in September, I think. And the story takes place during the month of October. And it follows another witch in London, and she is working in her bakery. She's a people pleaser and a perfectionist, and she's sort of paying the price for that. And yeah, I am really enjoying it so far. It is sort of cozy fantasy with like, there are some stakes, but we haven't really gotten to that yet. I'm on page like 87, and there's just been another character introduced, which is a teenage girl that our main character Annie is supposed to be some sort of a mentor for, or like help find her magic and things. And so I think that's where the stakes are going to come in. It's a very comforting and cozy read. It's not one that's like grabbing me a lot, and I think that maybe I need something that grabs me a little bit more right now, like a bit more of an engaging read, but at the same time I'm like taking it slow, and so this one is good for that. I do have to return this library copy in a couple of days, so I've been listening to the audiobook and like immersion reading this, and I would like to finish it before I have to return it, but we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so far so good. And then, like I mentioned, I have my end of year TBR picked out with like, I think there were 17 books on that list, and I have since read 3 of those. So slowly but surely, we'll see if I manage to get all those read. But I have picked out like a priority TBR, this pile right here of books that I hope to read in the coming weeks, or that are like my pile of possibility, I guess, for the upcoming weeks. And so here I have Every Version of You by Grace Chan, which is speculative fiction set in Australia. I have Never the Wind by Francesco Dimitri, which is a fantasy novel, I think, with a main character who is blind. The Darlings of the Asylum by Noel O'Reilly, which is a historical thriller about a woman who is put into a Victorian asylum because she doesn't want to marry. Stoneyard Devotional by Charlotte Wood, which is another book set in Australia, and it's about a woman who sort of leaves everything behind and comes to this like convent or something. I'm not really sure, but it's on my list of 25 books that I want to read in 2025. A House with Good Bones by T. Kingfisher, which would be my first T. Kingfisher book, and I had hoped to read it during spooky season, but I don't know, I'm still interested in picking that up, so we'll see if I can get to that. Women Talking by Miriam Toews, which I am really intrigued to read. That's also on my list of 25 books to read this year, as is A Short Stay in Hell by Stephen L. Peck, which is kind of a philosophical horror, I think, that I'm really intrigued by. And then also The Garden by Nick Newman, which is sort of horror fantasy. Every day I just come in here and I just stare at all of my books, and I'm just like so excited to read all of them, and also can't really decide which one I'm the most excited to read, so I'm just sort of stuck in this like frozen mode where I just want to read all of them and don't pick any of them up. But yeah, I'm working my way through Uncharmed, and then we'll see if I pick any one of these up to like mix it up a little bit and maybe add in some more drama or something that, you know, grabs me a little bit more. I'm gonna take things as they come. I'm really hoping to do some reading vlogs before the end of the year, and like, you know, in the run up to the new year, and just trying to make sure I get through as many of these books as I can, not rushing, but like just seeing how I go. I feel like that could be a fun thing to do, and just, you know, something to maybe motivate me to keep going a little bit. And then there's also like the end of year content, which I am looking forward to, and I'm hoping that you are looking forward to that as well. Thank you for subscribing, for being here and hanging out. Please join the Discord server if you're interested in participating in the Diversity Book Bingo. Fill out the surveys if you can and want to. I would appreciate that a lot. Let me know if you're looking for any suggestions for any prompts that you have left to fulfill this year. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. A Short Stay in Hell by Stephen L. Peck, which is sort of philosophical. What?